Main focus is to come up with a bag. Ain't gonna be no slacking, ain't got time for none of that. Put it in their face, it, they already mad. Disappear while I'm stacking, and they be like, where you been? Make sure the liquor brown, drink it all up.
Hey guys, it's your girl Chante, and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, what's up with it? Be sure to hit that subscription button, followed by the notification bell, so you are updated when I post new videos weekly. So in this video, I am bringing to you my review on these two foundations, the new Wet n Wild Dewy Photo Focus and the Fenty Hydrating Longwear Foundation. So I have the Fenty on this side and the Wet n Wild on this side. So now the Wet n Wild claims to hydrate and smooth complexions for a luminous finish, buildable coverage from normal to dry skin. Shake well before using. Fenty is a hydrating normal finish foundation that delivers comfortable long wear in medium to full coverage perfect for normal to dry skins. So if you guys want to see and hear my honest opinions on these two foundations and how they differ and how they are the same, just keep on watching. And prime my face using my Too Faced Hangover RX. And then I'm going in with my Hydro Grip. And yeah. So I'm going to have these foundations on my face. This is going to be on my right side. This is going to be on my left. So I'm just going to take the Wet n Wild and put it on the back of my hand, just so that way I can use a brush to pick her up and put her on my face. And then go in with my Trusty Dusty Beauty Blender. I like a light to medium coverage. Now this is the first application. Now what I've learned is that your foundation is never going to be 100%. You just got to make sure it makes sense for where you're going. And it's never going to be 100% the right match. You can play with it with other things like contouring and whatnot, and that's what I usually do. But I feel like it's not terrible thus far. So we've gotten all that off the... Now here I have hyperpigmentation, so I could conceal, or I could just try to cover it up with this foundation. So I'm gonna try to do that because that's really my go-to thing, is to usually just use my foundation to cover up these things and not have to do concealer. I could just use the concealer for brightening purposes. So we're going to see. So that was two applications, like two swipes of the foundation that we have on our face right now. Okay, so that is the first foundation, and that is this Wet n Wild. Now I'm gonna go in on this side with my Fenty Beauty, and it looks a little cray-cray right now, but let's see how we finish out. I think this one, it's funny because when I have the Fenty on, I'm like, I don't think this is my shade, but this one is definitely better for me. Like if you look at the two, you can see, I mean, this is still too red and this is still too yellow for me. Well, let's see. Okay, so now you can see that I have both foundations on. This is the Wet n Wild side. This is the Fenty. They both seem to have the same amount of dewiness in my face, so that's good. Now I'm going to go in with concealer, and for concealer I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way. They both took really nice to the concealer. Add a little more because my under eyes are dark. So they both set really nice with that concealer. I don't see any like issues anywhere. Like sometimes when I put on foundations, I'll see like the product is being picked up, but I don't see that. So good, giving me some brightening. Do a third one there too, to brighten her up now. Both still very, very dewy. I think that's good. So this is where we're at right now after concealer with both foundations. So this is the Wet n Wild side. This is the Fenty Beauty side. I like the Fenty Beauty side a little bit more, but you know what? Let's keep going. Now I want to hit my face with my Micro Smooth, so I'm going to take this. Actually, no, I'm going to take this Mented foundation brush, and I'm just going to swirl it in here. And just hit my face with it. So I'm gonna go in and do something that I have newly and get Fenty powder actually, and use this to set under my eye. And now I'm going to go in with my Sashka for the bake. This is my favorite, like this has the favorite hue of yellow for me. Other powders are good, but this one to me has my favorite hue of this yellow. So I always come back to her. And then just chiseling out at the bottom, per usual. I forgot bronzer, so it looks like we're just going to powder bronze today. So I'm going to use this Batgirl here and dip into my Mented palette, and yeah. It's really not acting right today, and I really think it's because of this ring light. Okay, so I'm just buffing in this Mented Season 2, and I'm using the bronzer side, this side here. These are the two foundations. This is how it's playing so far. This is the Fenty side. This is the Wet n Wild side. I think that they both are playing really well with all the product. The Wet n Wild is really standing up. The only gripe I have with the Wet n Wild, I feel like, is that it's not my shade. So I find that the Fenty side looks a little bit... Wet n Wild is 0.95 fluid ounces, and the Fenty is 1.08 fluid ounces. Okay, so now I'm gonna just go and finish up the rest of my face, and then I'm gonna come back to you guys, and we can see how the Wet n Wild compared to the Fenty. Okay guys, so I finished the look. So in person, you can't really tell the difference. I will say my Fenty, for whatever reason, is cracking a lot along the lips, and my pores right here are huge. The Wet n Wild, which I did experience when I did the video, the last time I just did the full review on this, it's just very smooth. Like, I think the formula for this foundation is bomb. I think the shade range needs some work. That's why for me on that. But like, if I'm looking here on the camera, I feel like this side looks so smooth and velvety, and then this side, it's not terrible on this side, but it's set better on this side. Like, this side looks really, I don't know, really red to me here on the camera, but in person they look very similar. It's just that I can see all of my pores right here, like boom, right there in my face. So that is the difference that I see between these two foundations. So I just went in and did the same exact thing, finishing it up on both sides. Did my Jackie Pastel right now, like the difference in person, but like on camera I'm liking how smooth this side looks. So now I'm gonna try to take a photo and see how it plays out, like which side disrespects me the most. This might be the first time ever where both sides actually look good. I don't know if you can see that. I don't look white or ashy. Now in the camera, my Fenty side looks a little bit better. Oh, my Fenty side looks a little bit better photographed. Whereas this side, like, everything kind of blended together. There's no dimension, where here I can see my blush, my contour, like everything is like layered up. Like, this foundation really stood up to a big name foundation. I think that it performed really, really well. The formula is really nice and smooth. Unlike my last video, which I 2000% see now that it was that airspun that I'm definitely going to set on fire that was not working for me. Came out good. I think that you should, if you're into drugstore makeup, I think that you could definitely go and scoop this up. It's definitely like a nice buy. It's not like you're wasting your time. I just think that Wet n Wild needs to expand the colors on this. I believe it's 20 shades in this color range. Need a little bit more, especially for me. I find, I mean, I feel like everybody probably will say this about the foundations that they get. I know everybody's always saying like dark tones are not really represented, but I feel like they just make medium tones to say that they made them, but really who matches with. I actually found that like this foundation in particular, when applying it to my face, was probably the closest I've ever seen like applying it to my shade, and then it kind of like sets in and does this thing. Where this here, it looks extremely red, and it shows up redder on this side, but not as like red as it does in here. And I was like very hesitant to even get this one. I was actually in for Sephora like swatching my face a million times to try to figure this out, and I'm kind of like getting a handle on what my shade is to the point where now I can actually just see something online and let it be swatched in someone's hand and know where I'm gonna fall. So definitely that helps a lot, just to keep educating yourself. And then it helps you with when you're going to buy drugstore foundation, because you really can't test them out there. So it's kind of like playing it by ear. You kind of have to buy like 2, then return 1. Like it's annoying to do that, where they should just have testers in drugstores as well. I don't know why they don't have that, but yeah, this foundation actually stood up to the heavy hitter that is Fenty, and I really like it. I use these two together because they're both supposed to be like hydrating and giving you this like nice dewy look, and I think that they both make the skin look really like soft. They were both very dewy before I set them down, so I think that's really good. And then there's like a nice like strobe. I feel like I didn't highlight my nose, but like you can see all of that being like illuminated. So if you guys like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up and share it with 5 of your friends, and have them share it with 5 of their friends, so we can keep going with this 5 for 5 deal, helping me expand and grow this YouTube channel. So I hope you guys really enjoyed. I love doing this for you guys each week, even though I'm not getting paid a dollar bill. It is really fun for me, and I want to continue to keep growing and yeah, keep learning. Now I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.